The conclusion of My Hero Academia certified Deku as my anime protagonist GOAT, man. He is my favorite main character of all the anime that's the protagonist. I love his character, man. He's my GOAT. I'm not saying he's y'all GOAT, but he's my GOAT in my personal opinion, man. I love his character arc. I love just there's so many things just to like about Deku in my opinion. I think he's overhated. After watching the whole story, man, I just love his character, man. From the beginning to the end, man. I was always a huge fan of Deku, man, and he was my favorite character in the show, man. So I have watched a ton of anime over the years, y'all, and usually the main character is not my favorite character. But in this case, Deku is my favorite character in My Hero. You know, for me, he truly defines what a hero should be, man. In my eyes, man, he is the definition of what a hero. He should be that person. Hey, if you want to be a hero, that's the person you should look up to, man. Because Deku defines what a hero is supposed to be, man. In my opinion, man. And just love the character. An example of a main character that not being my favorite character is, you know, Naruto. Like, I love Naruto. Don't get me wrong. I love Naruto as a character. He's one of my favorite characters in the show, but he's not my favorite character in Naruto. In the series Naruto, Itachi's my favorite character, and that kind of just shows that, you know, for me, the main character is not usually my favorite character, so it's a little bit different for me that Deku is my favorite character. He's the main protagonist, the main character of My Hero, and he is my favorite character. Usually that is not the case for me. What I appreciate about Deku's character is that he uses his smarts in his fights, and he is smart outside of fighting as well. That's what I really love about his character. And he's different from a lot of anime protagonists that, you know, usually the trope is that they smart when they fight it and they dumb as a sack of bricks when they doing anything else, right? Which I felt was a nice change of pace from other characters. Another thing that, you know, I enjoy about Deku's character is his love for quirks, man, and this being one of his main strengths, because it's really something that goes unappreciated about Deku, and why he is so good when you see him using One For All, man, is that his love for quirks is, you know, what makes him so great, in my opinion, man. Like, I really think this is something that most people undervalue, underappreciate about Deku's character, man, because it stays with him throughout the whole story, man. Like, from the beginning, right, we see his love, of course, with him, you know, having a notebook, right, where he takes notes about quirks, right? He does this with quirks that people perceive as super strong, and, you know, quirks that people perceive as weak as well, right? So he just loves quirks, right? It's no like, oh, it's this strong quirk, man, I'm only gonna take notes on strong quirks and forget about the weak ones. Like, he loves quirks, like, you know, ultimately empowers, man. Like, he has a passion for it, right? You know, and it kind of, this passion stays with Deku throughout his whole journey, right? It is super relevant throughout Deku's story. Like, and I really appreciate, you know, the author Horikoshi, how he maintains Deku's love for quirks throughout Deku's story, right? Not just in Deku in writing notes, but in his fights as well, right? It is one of the big reasons he is so great in battle, right? His creativity with the quirks makes any quirk useful in battle, right? And it's not just his creativity with quirks, it's his smarts as well. Like, it's a combination of both. And this is why he is so good in battle, right? He's so good with quirks, his quirks and other people's quirks as well. Like, how well he is understanding other people's quirk and how to use them in battle, or, you know, trying to do a team attack or do some combining quirks together and stuff like that. Like, Deku is so good. He understands not only his quirk, but other people's quirk and how to best use them. Like, he does this so many times throughout the, you know, My Hero story, right? You know, many times, especially with Class 1A, right? There were so many out of the box plans that Deku came up with Class 1A to win, right? Using a, you know, combination of Class 1A quirks, right? So many times, right? It happens when Class 1A goes to rescue Baku. Deku uses his smarts again, not only with the combination with Todoroki, Kirishima, and Momo and Ida. He uses his smarts knowing that, understanding Bakugo's feelings towards him, right? He's saying that he didn't want to be rescued by Deku, right? He only was going to be rescued by Kirishima, right? It couldn't be nobody else but Kirishima, who he has respect for, right? In that moment, right, Deku understands Bakugo's feelings. In that moment, right, he knew that Bakugo wouldn't want to be saved by Deku, and that is crazy, right? Didn't want to be saved by Deku, Todoroki, or Momo or Ida, right? It had to be Kirishima, right? It had to be Kirishima that to be the one to save him, and that is using your smart, your head, bruh. Deku's smartness and his creativity, man, just shines throughout the whole story of My Hero, man. Even when he's at the peak of his powers, right, you see his appreciation for quirks when he's fighting Shigaraki and Lady Nagant, right? Two examples, man, in the kind of the final arcs of the story, man, that you see it on full display, his creativity and his smarts, man. In the fight against Lady Nagant, you see Deku using the smoke screen to hide himself and create decoys in that fight, right? He also uses that smoke screen to basically use it to boost, give him that 5 gen, right? So he had the kinetic energy, right? He doing the squats and stuff like that, right? Using the combinations to set things up, man. He was laying traps for her, bruh, to get her, right, because she was sniping at long range, and he was having trouble getting to her. Like, she was really good because Lady Nagant power is crazy, right? It's crazy good, right? She hit you from long distance and curve the bullets and stuff like that. And Deku uses the smoke screen. He creates the decoys, and then he uses the opportunity to gain the speed that can get to her, in a blink of an eye with the 5 gen ability, right? That's another great moment right there as well, right? You also got Deku puppeteering himself to make himself move in the Shigaraki fight, right? And then he combines 5 gen and Black Whip together, right? This is all creativity, man. He mixing quirks together. The multiple quirks together, he using them in a way in the fight, man, that I just don't think anybody else in the show could do, man. The puppeteering was crazy, man. Like, to make his body move after he experienced the effects of using gear shift, right? And that's insane to me, man. That's insane. Then you see him combining 5 gen and Black Whip together, man, to make Black Whip stronger. Dude, it is just crazy, man. When you watching it, man, you just see Deku's the smarts and creativity, man, just is being shown by this man, and he didn't have the quirks for that as long, and that's the amazing part, bro. Like, just imagine if he had the quirks his entire life, like All Might, bro. Like, All Might had the quirks for, can't remember exactly, I think it was like 30 years or something like that. Deku did not have the power for that long at all, man. But just imagine he had all them quirks for 30 years. You know how OP Deku would, but he was already OP in the main story. If he continued, didn't lose his quirk, man, Deku would have been insane, man. Been insane. Even more insane. He would have been figuring out how to, combine the quirks even more, man. Which is crazy to think about, bro. Like, how OP he was at the end of My Hero. Just imagine if he kept the powers, man. It would have been insane. He would have been too broken. I understood why you had to take his power, because it would have been nobody. It would have been nobody in this world, bruh, that would have been able to the pack of Deku, right? Because of his creativity and his appreciation of quirks, I truly believe nobody else will be able to use One For All to his max potential, y'all. Like, I truly believe that, like, because he appreciates the quirk, he understands even the weakest ones, how to use them best in fights, how to get the most out of them. Like, that's something that I just don't think that nobody else in the story could do, man. In my opinion, man, he is the best One For All user, man. Nobody comes close, in my opinion. I love All Might, but I still think Deku just he the strongest in my opinion, and he's the best. He was the best one to have it, especially when he awakens. And, he got the multiple quirks and stuff like that. I just don't think nobody else could have done it. You get this realization about Deku when Kudo, the second user, says what makes One For All shine is Deku's appreciation for quirk. And the crazy part about this, man, it's kind of funny, right? Is the person that had the most appreciation for quirks and understood how to best optimize a quirk in battle is the person that was quirkless, right? Just like in real life, man, the person that values things the most is the person that does not have such thing or things that that other people have, man. Usually the person that values it, man. And that kind of just a good representation of how it is in real life. It's basically the same thing, right? Deku was quirkless, right? So he had a greater appreciation. Last thing that I want to talk about, that I appreciate, that I love about Deku, man, is his inspiration throughout the story, man. It is top tier, man. It's one of the best parts about Deku, right? His inspiration, his inspiring of others, right? He inspires Class on 8, going to save Deku, right? When he was Dark Deku, right? The ramp combination move is all Deku inspired, man. His fingerprints is all over that teamwork, right? Like, that's inspiration right there, man. Like, when they went to go save Deku, man, that's all Deku inspiration, man. From the very beginning, he was inspiring Class 1A and people in the show the entire time, bro. He just inspires that inner hero in you. What certified Deku as the GOAT for me He defines what a hero is supposed to be. At Deku's core, he is a hero no matter what, man. He will ultimately still be a hero. He will continue to do heroism. The core piece of Deku never changed from the beginning of the story to the end of the story, man. It is the reason why Stain recognized Deku as a true hero, because Deku is not doing heroism for fame, money, or revenge, man. He doing it for the love of saving people, quote unquote, the love of the game, right? As Stain would say, he is not a fake. He is a symbol of what a hero should be, man. Deku has always put saving people first, even to his own detriment, man. And honestly, it's the thing I respect most about him, bruh. He sacrifices himself so many times, man, throughout the story, man, for the safety of others, man, to save others, man, throughout the entire story, man. Trying to save Bakugo from the slug villain with no powers, man. He got no powers, man. At the beginning of My Hero, he runs to try to save Bakugo, man. Even though Bakugo was bullying him, he still was trying to save him, man. Helping Todoroki overcome his trauma to use his flame side at the UA Sports Festival, man. He put Todoroki's saving first over his own interest, right? You know, because Deku wanted to win the UA Sports Festival, but he couldn't help but help Todoroki, man. To Deku's nature, man, he couldn't pass up the opportunity to be a hero to Todoroki in that moment. That's what Todoroki needed to overcome his trauma. Then you got him putting his body on the line to save people, man. How many times, man, this man Deku got broken limbs, bones throughout all My Hero story. He using it to save people, man. That's sacrifice right there. That man putting the body on it. Like, it's not just words. He putting his body on the line to save people, man. Him becoming Dark Deku was a sacrifice as well, man. He sacrificed his own well-being so he can keep the people he care about safe, man. That the whole reason he became Dark Deku is so that he could not have all for one harm the people that he care about, man. To his own detriment, man. Deku was hurting, but he felt like, hey, this needed to be done so he could save the people that he care about, man, so they wouldn't get hurt. That's sacrifice right there. Then maybe his greatest sacrifice is giving up one for all. Like, think about that, man. He gave up one for all, man. This is something that Deku wanted throughout his whole life, to have a quirk, man. All through his childhood, to have a quirk, and to give it up, that's insane, bruh. To give it up and quote unquote give up being a hero for humanity and to try to save Shigaraki. That is selflessness and sacrifice right there, man. Yes, I would have loved if Deku kept his powers, but it makes sense. The most selfless person in the entire show gives up having a quirk and a future as a hero. Even though this is what he wanted most to do, right? To have a quirk and become a hero. He decides to give it up to save the world and Shigaraki. You know, some people may be mad that Deku lost his quirk, but isn't that who Deku is at his core? Isn't that a reflection of who Deku has been the entire My Hero story? I would say that's yes. Ultimately, the greatest hero, Izuku Midori, is my favorite protagonist in all of anime, man. Love the character, love the show. For me, no protagonist compares.